want to start from something different. When I broke the news about Paris and Fenerbahce game potentially being suspended and eventually being suspended, I've received one message from, maybe I probably can call him BasketNews fan or URBONUS fan. Apparently, he was driving from Luxembourg to Paris to watch Paris basketball and Fenerbahce game. He was on his way at the moment when I tweeted it. And he said that it's supposed to be his first ever EuroLeague game that he was about to watch live. So, man, I feel so bad for the guy. Something
I wonder
very
if he's
unusual.
still going to
I
visit
told him
Paris.
to go home. I mean, it's
almost
pointless.
It's a 5-hour drive.
It's not that bad. It's almost like Vilnius Klaipėda, a bit further, but I hope he'll have more opportunities to visit Paris. And if you go to see Paris basketball play, you must watch them when TJ Shorts is available, because it's a different ball game without him.
Although they were pretty close,
like
even without him.
Moldo and Nadir Hiffi definitely stepped up. They dropped 52 points together or something like that.
Yeah. Moldo had 30.
Fenerbahce guys are mad about this game being suspended because they were they were informed that the game will be suspended basically just before their morning practice. It's like 8 hours away from the game.
They were already in France?
Yeah, they were already in Paris. We're about to go with the bus to the practice. And, they are afraid that more teams might use it as a precedent. Let's say open a Pandora box. Because the rule says that the team's doctor has to sign some official documents and send it to the EuroLeague about the players that are available. And if you don't have 8 players healthy to play the game can be suspended by the EuroLeague bylaws that were signed by all the EuroLeague teams. So Paris, they were lacking of healthy players for that game. And according to the rules, the team doctor must submit the health protocol no later than 5 hours before the tip-off. So basically, it potentially can open a Pandora box if some teams want to use this rule, not.
But these things were happening during the COVID season.
That's the thing. I had flashbacks of COVID, bad flashbacks.
I don't think that teams would use that too often because the schedule is so tight and you don't want to have 2 or 3 games postponed. It will make your season much more difficult. So since this is a one-time thing, I have no reason to believe that Paris basketball are bluffing or anything like that. Maybe they actually have some virus inside and that's it,
TJ already did not play. It was a game time withdrawal before the Tuesdays.
True. And as Thiago Splitter told in the press conference that a few guys were also playing feeling sick. And they had limited minutes. And even in facing these circumstances, they managed to be very competitive against Real Madrid. But just to add, the Paris will also have to cover the travel expenses of Fenerbahce, of the officiating crew. Also, a lot of ticketing issues with fans coming from Luxembourg to the game and stuff. So it's not like it's so easy to do something on purpose to avoid the game.
I think it's just an unfortunate.
I can understand why Fener players are a bit mad, but if the same happens to them.
And I thought that it was not the bad timing for Fenerbahce to have a short break after back-to-back losses by 30 points, right? Just like in few sentences, what is not clicking with this Fenerbahce team in your eyes? Well, you were the one who were witnessing this, how Sharas calls it, not pain, not sacrifice, but
suffering.
Exactly, suffering.
I was the commentator for both games, like last week versus Monaco at home, and now in Barcelona. Huh? Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
And you actually expect good games. Fenerbahce, Fener, Monaco.
Like Sharas versus Panulis should have been something amazing. It wasn't. But this week, first of all, the score is blown out of proportion because of the last minutes. In the last minute, Brisella hit 3 consecutive 3-pointers to build a 27-point lead. It was a 12-point game after 3 quarters. It was kind of a close game after the first half, so it's just the fourth quarter.
meltdown.
Makes things look like Barca was just dominating the whole game, which is not necessarily true. The thing is, right now, I see Fenerbahce players doing everything that Šaras wants them to do offensively, like running all those sets, and they get good looks, and they're not making those shots. In Barcelona, they were 7 from 30 from the 3-point range, and it's not like they were shooting some contested shots. I don't think that Barcelona was amazing defensively or anything like that. They were just missing a lot of open looks. That's one issue. The other issue is obviously injuries. Oh, yeah. They have players on the injured list all season, and especially guards.
Yeah, exactly. Not just bigs, but craters.
Yeah, craters.
Wade Baldwin,
so
Scottie
now,
Wilbekin, Devon Hall.
In this Barcelona game, they started okay. I mean, it was like a 5 or 6 point game, and Wade Baldwin runs out with hamstring injury. He's leaving the court. He goes straight to the locker room. You're without Wade Baldwin. Devon Hall just came back after injury, and he got 3 early fouls. So you're left with Guduric and Skylar Mays, and Skylar Mays is obviously struggling as a EuroLeague rookie. At the moment, I'm not sure how much you can trust him. So you're without ball handlers, basically. So what can you do? They were trying to survive somehow, but there were too many turnovers, too many open shots missed. At the same time, you have those problems with your centers, like Shanli is there, but he's always in the foul trouble. Cam Birch is limited. You're not going to put Boban on the court against teams that have players like Kevin Punter running the show. And, well, that's a problem. They cannot play quality basketball right now. And I think the best thing for them is that they are 10-6.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from the 16 games they played, maybe they played 2 or 3 really good games where you could say Fenerbahce was playing good basketball. But somehow they got 10 wins, so that's the best thing for them. But there are so many problems. There's no quick fix probably. Players need to get healthy. Like Wade Baldwin hasn't been in shape this whole season. Even when he's playing, he's definitely far from 100%. And now he's again going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, I assume.
Yeah.
And that is a problem. And those big scores not necessarily are fair, because even in the Monaco game, again, they were missing so many open shots. It should have been a closer game. Yeah. It shouldn't have been a 30-point blowout, but it is what it is.
In the last 5 games, their net rating is the worst in the league, even worse than Alba. And if we take 7 games, they get better than Alba, but only better by Berlin team, like 17th net rating. And of course, their offense is not clicking, only 104, 105 points per 100 possessions. But their defense is also, because of that, they can score. A lot of coaches say, your best defense, first line of defense is good offense. If you get good offense, if you make shots, you have less problems with transition defense. And when you don't score, when you score 63 points or something like that against Barcelona, you, of course, going to get hurt, of course, there. And these stats, you mentioned those 10 wins, they should be happy about it.
It's crazy how they got those 10 wins.
Yeah, in the last 5 rounds, they're the worst team in the EuroLeague according to net rating.
Because now Wilbekin is out, Baldwin is out, Žagars is out. Devon Hall just came back, so you cannot expect too much when a player just recently came back from an injury.
And we thought their guard lineup would be the main strength.
And
we were questioning the centers, and now all the guards are injured, and that center lineup is still there.
But we're still questioning this front line.
Oh, we never stopped.
That's the problem.
At least I never stopped.
That's the problem.
Definitely.
They never.
And they have big decisions to make, because they have exit clauses in both of the contracts of Boban Marjanovic and Cam Birch. So they have to make up their mind like in the next 2 weeks. The thing is that the deadline for players to switch teams in the EuroLeague is the next week. So let's say if I'm Cam Birch and if I'm Boban Marjanovic, if I want to be eligible for any other EuroLeague team, I'm pushing Fenerbahce to make up their mind if I want to still play in the EuroLeague until the rest of the season. So big decisions looming in Istanbul, but we have a lot of topics to cover on this podcast. We're going to talk about K-Nunn's game against Milan. Also, Augustus has like 10 trade suggestions. We have Christmas gifts
some
and wishes
misunderstanding
for every
Well,
EuroLeague
it's
game.
cool because I came unprepared because I shouldn't have
Last
been
minute
here.
replacement
Last
for
minute replacement,
Gitas.
yes.
We wish Gitas speedy recovery as well. So a lot of stuff to cover, but let's start from positives.
Yeah.
Kendrick Nunn scoring 39 points, 21 in the first quarter alone. 7 threes in the first quarter, the EuroLeague all-time high in one quarter. The best scoring performance in the EuroLeague this season among all players, among all teams. Kendrick Nunn's career high as well. A lot of great things that happened. What are your just general reactions after that performance?
Fantastic shot making, but at the same time, I was surprised how bad Milano's defense were. In that first quarter, he was shooting basically wide open, and you know, Shawan Shields.
Speaking of flashbacks, when you mentioned when you mentioned the what the hell, man?
Something is in this glass.
Show me.
Look, you see that?
What is something?
You see that? Look at it. Look inside. Man, look.
This one. This is a small.
The fuck is this?
It's not just one thing, I guess.
Great
It's a glass
podcast.
Should I drink
dead.
One of the best moments in the URBONUS history, I think.
Fucking hell. Okay.
Of some dead stuff. But when Ritas mentioned Barcelona making good plays, just not making shots, I just had flashbacks of Žalgiris times when Šaras was the head coach. But when you mentioned Kendrick Nunn shooting kind of open threes, I had flashbacks of Sasha Djordjevic hitting those threes against Lithuania in 1995 against Rimas Kurtinaitis, one of the worst defensive performances I've seen.
That was some bad zone defense by Lithuania.
A lot of bad things that night.
Almost
but
30 years ago.
Lithuania, you know, we all in Lithuania, we thought that it was all about the referees. But eventually,
No,
when
it
I
wasn't.
watched the game, I was like, man,
No.
it was a whole lie all the time. Anyways, continue,
Back
my
to
friend.
Athens, Shields was guarding.
Still Athens, by the way. It also happened in Athens. Djordjevic night. You see?
Okay.
You see?
Everything adds up now. Full circle moment. But, you know, Milan is doing that stunting defense where if somebody drives, you stunt from one pass away. And they did that twice to start the game. And Kendrick Nunn is like, I'm so wide open. I'm just going to shoot it free. I'm going to, you know, put up my average and, I don't know, show EuroLeague what they were missing for one game. But, and then he got going. Then he hit, you know, in the transition, he got the ball. Shawan Shields steps on Lazor's foot,
yeah.
falls down. Everybody's like going crazy. Oh, a crossover. He didn't do anything. Like the guy just tripped.
Let's be fair.
Yeah, but he still makes that 3-pointer. It's a wide open. Then the cameraman is late to show what Panathinaikos are doing, but in 1 second, Kendrick Nunn is completely wide open, and Shawan Shields is somewhere running 2 meters behind him. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So, and Pau goes on a crazy run to start, 14-0, 17-3, something like that. And on the other side, what Olympia are doing, they're just playing one screen, one pass, and they shoot. And this reminds me when LeBron James had this game in against Milwaukee Bucks, when the commentators were like, he's as hot as a hot torch, something like that, when he hit 4 3-pointers in 4 possessions. Because what Milwaukee did, they go on a run, they one dribble, one pass, they shoot, you obviously miss, and it's an easy transition shot for the other guy. And I'm like, I'm watching this game, it's exactly the same. One pass, Mirotic, Lide, shooting 3-pointers, missing. Panathinaikos go on a run, and either they score in transition or Kendrick Nunn hits a 3 after one pass. And they scored what? They made their team's record for the first quarter. They broke several records, right?
Yeah.
And Kendrick was like Spain pick and roll. He just sets a back screen, pops. Milano Olympia defense is nowhere near. He's wide open after hitting 5 or 6 threes already. And I'm like, well, okay, if you just don't want to compete in this game, this is what's going to happen. So it was like very impressive shot making, but also Milano could have done way better. But I loved how after each triple there was the camera, the broadcast were showing the Power fans, and everybody was like, after every free.
Even Nunn was a little bit surprised, by the threes and the looks that he got.
7 threes in one quarter. Come on now.
Milano's defense aside, I think Kendrick Nunn is a player who can take over any game, and his confidence levels are at the point where he doesn't think any defense can stop him. So he can do whatever he wants. If it's his day, I mean, you throw whatever you want at him, he's going to score. And not necessarily that much, but he's going to score. He's going to drop 20, he's going to drop 30.
At some point, I thought that he might break the record, Nigel Hayes-Davis record. But
I also
was
thought that, and maybe that's the reason why Ataman played him for 37 minutes.
But it was a weird usage of Kendrick Nunn. I mean, he actually started trying to break the record in the last couple of minutes of the game. And I didn't understand because the guy played the entire halftime. He was coming off the ankle injury. So and this is the double game week.
Yeah.
And you're playing the guy, and his usage was really low up until the last few minutes of the game. And I was like, you're up by 30. Why none? Why some other guys are still on the court? And why are you not trying to force that record if that's I thought that was the reason for Ataman to keep him on the court. So it was a weird, let's say, approach on that record.
But do you think it has something to do with EuroLeague suspending him last week? Like the mentality was
maybe additional motivation for sure.
I'm gonna drop 40. Ataman says I'm gonna play you 40 minutes, do whatever you want, just show EuroLeague that you're the best player in this league, and they cannot afford to suspend you anymore.
knowing Ataman, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
It felt like that.
Yeah,
but it also felt like one of those just Nunn moments where he was like, Game 5, fourth quarter against Maccabi, second half of the final against Real Madrid, he just takes over. I think like in Game 5 against Maccabi, he scored like 15 points or 13 in the final 4. Second half, he scored like also 13, 15 points. It was just one of those moments where you barely can do anything against Kendrick Nunn.
And I felt so bad about this goaltending that stopped him from scoring 41 because it was was it a mistake or not? You can read Todd Warnick's article on BasketNews.com, which is available only for BN Plus members. But let's say I was mad with the call because if he made that shot, and probably you can argue if that was also a foul during that drive or not, he would have been the third. He would have tied for the third highest single game scoring performance in the EuroLeague ever. So and just going in this 40-point zone is also. That's a nice stuff to have, a nice mark to have in his career. So I was a little bit mad about what happened over there. But regarding Nunn's, I mean, once again, he proved his greatness. I had a question for you guys.
Yeah.
In their peak, please rank these 3 players. Kendrick Nunn, Shane Larkin, and Mike James.
I already knew that. In their prime?
In their prime,
Kendrick Nunn is in his prime right now.
True.
At least in Europe.
True.
Because he's an NBA player.
And he's 29.
He's an NBA player.
So we are taking Kendrick Nunn right now. Shane, when they went back-to-back probably.
Or during this COVID year,
season
22 points per game.
Scored 50 on
49.
Bayern,
49.
broke the three-pointers record.
But they went back-to-back after that, right?
Yes,
true.
But the season before, the season that was stopped by COVID, it was definitely Shane's MVP season. He would have been the MVP. So I think we're taking Shane from that year.
And Mike was also playing his peak basketball in CSKA during COVID year, 21 points per game in a Final Four contender.
I mean, Mike, last year he was the MVP, but you could argue that wasn't even his best season. So I don't know. Just let's say peak Mike James and compare the 3.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one because they're also different players.
And it's like, to me, like Kendrick has been there only for like 1 year. 1.5
He's already a EuroLeague champion.
I know.
He already had like dominant playoff performance against Maccabi.
But it's just the factor that these other 2 guys have been here for so long, and I'm like,
I can rank my preferences. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that one is better than the other.
Bench, cut.
Sort of. Oof. Like Kendrick Nunn, first of all, he's a lefty, which makes him difficult to guard. He drives, he shoots, he has the confidence. He's taller than those 2 guys, which is also an important factor.
True.
Not that he's great defensively.
I believe he can't. I mean, it's not like he can't play defense.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just doesn't feel like it.
It's the thing with all three of these guys.
A lot of guys.
Yeah, a lot of scoring guards because you just don't have that much energy.
Yeah.
Like if you
Or you don't want, or you just don't want it sometimes.
if you take these three players
Come on
and
now.
you say like which one of these three could have a big role on a NBA team and average 15 points per game as a starting guard.
It's
Kendrick Nunn
Kendrick
did that
Nunn.
for Eric
Yeah.
Spoelstra, and just the lack of size makes Mike James and Shane Larkin players that couldn't probably have a big role on a playoff team in the NBA. It kind of makes me pick Kendrick Nunn as the number one option here. Then Mike James as my second option. James doesn't dunk anymore these days, but he's a
he was fine.
He was a athletic guard.
Yeah.
He could explode. He could do everything. Drive to his left, drive to his right. The 3-point shot. Most of his shots are difficult shots, but somehow he maintains those solid percentages. So Mike
Shane
James
is back-to-back EuroLeague champion.
Mike
That's
James
his
is
advantage
there,
as
and
well.
What Shane
Shane
did there with Efes.
And I'm not saying that one is better than the other or
Yeah.
anything like that, but just like Shane Larkin is again a different player. Somebody who's gonna run like crazy. He's gonna make a lot of off-ball movements. He's gonna shoot threes from the pick and rolls. Right now, he's playing more like a facilitator coming back from his injury. Just 12 assists yesterday, and 13 assists is his personal record when he played for Baskonia. So I'm just putting him here as a number 3, not because he's far away from these other two guys, but I think right now. For Kendrick Nunn, it's much easier to break EuroLeague defenses, and the size advantage means something. The fact that he's left-handed also maybe means a little, and now he's in a really, really good shape, and he's probably in his peak right now at the moment.
Okay, so your order is K-Nunn, Mike James, and Shane Larkin.
Yeah.
Okay. August?
I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. I'm gonna do the LeBron, South Beach. Choosing some, it's tough, man. It's tough. But Peak Larkin. I don't know. Peak Larkin
was scoring 29 points. He also had a 29-point average in the Final Four. It was 2017-2018 season. He scored 21 points in the EuroLeague final, just as K-Nunn did when they won their first EuroLeague title with Efes. Some like numbers are just insane. For example, Mike's playoff high is 19 points per game. K-Nunn 19.2. Larkin 19.6. All of them were shooting like crazy, over 50% from 2 and over 40% from 3. Final Four numbers I've mentioned already, and the regular season highs. K-Nunn 19.8 this year. By the way, he improved his PAR by like 7 points. Mike was 21.1 in CSKA season, and Shane Larkin had 22.2 in the COVID season.
Peak Larkin, Peak Mike, Peak K-Nunn. In that order. But I hear what you're saying about the size.
6'5".
I know, but we are not talking about who will be the best player in the NBA. That would be a different order for me.
Okay, that's a nice switch of an angle.
You just
that's true.
Peak in the EuroLeague, what we are seeing right now. So if I would go peak Larkin, peak Mike, and then peak K-Nunn. But it's just what I remember from those championship years, what he did in that COVID year. That's a 3-year peak. That's as high as you can probably get. And he was doing it all. Like his form did not drop in the Final Fours. I still remember, those drives against Barcelona in the Final Fours, him making big shots. I don't know. Maybe it's just because K-Nunn only played one season. Maybe it's
because consistency
last year
and
when
longevity is a big
he only
thing.
played a few months of good basketball in EuroLeague, and we were approaching the Maccabi Power Series, I said that I picked Wade Baldwin above him just because Baldwin
he wasn't that efficient
for 2 years
True.
in Maccabi
True.
was consistent. He was one of the best guards in the league, athletic. But now, after a year, I can say that Kendrick Nunn at the moment is probably the best player we have in this league.
Yeah.
And you? No.
I'm just guy
We're not
making
finishing.
questions,
No,
man. I'm just a guy asking questions.
That's not
No.
fair. That's not fair.
Bro,
That was my part of
I'm
this
finishing,
podcast.
I'm finishing the podcast if you don't say your top three right now.
That's okay to me. We're gonna continue. If it
Just
is-
say it
Nah,
without
okay.
arguments.
I really don't know.
Bro.
I'm gonna use Carson Edwards.
No,
you
example.
put us
You
in this
can't do
difficult-
this,
I like
man.
the
I'm not
tier list.
answering any more
You put
questions.
us in
rankings.
such a difficult position because we were not
Yeah,
prepared to rank these three
exactly.
star
That's the
players.
fun part to
Shut
me.
up. You have
That's
to-
the fun part to me.
You were the
I
one
did
who
ask
had
three
this.
questions. I thought it would
wow.
be
This
an interesting
boycott?
debate. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I have no
I
clue.
think we should leave. I think
I really think we should leave if you don't answer this question. Peak
How long
Mike,
was the podcast? 27
Larkin.
minutes. That's okay. That's okay. We can finish the podcast.
If you want to.
I'm gonna finish the podcast with the rumors that I know and the Christmas wishes and stuff. I'm fine. You're not controlling me. I'm controlling the podcast.
Okay.
Wow.
Do it alone then, man.
Well, it's not like you're paying me.
I think we're paying you for
Well,
the
the
podcast.
company is paying me.
Yeah.
Are you paying from your own pocket? If that's the case, then I have
it's
to
not.
be.
It's not true.
I have to be humble.
It's not true. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Can I just say,
Bro, what anyways? You have to give the top three.
no, I don't have a top three. I really don't.
So if
I
our
really don't
answer
have a
was,
top three.
If our
I don't
answer
know.
was like this,
Honestly,
I don't have it,
I don't
and
know.
August doesn't have it, we wouldn't have any content.
So
do
we
you
would
understand-
have to
do
cut
you
that
know-
part.
So you
People
knew that
want
we
to
will
know your
somehow
opinion.
rank
I really
them.
don't know. That's the thing. They're too
Oh
good.
my
They're too
God.
good. There are
Just
too many
pick.
different perspectives.
Wow.
One is a champ, another is not a champ. Great stats, another different kind of teams that they played for. I really don't
Just
know.
wants to be friends
But
with all of those
that's
players.
the
I'm so
beauty.
happy that you made my life easier.
Wow.
Like giving these perspectives, giving these
Okay,
rankings.
no,
I'm like,
let's-
okay,
let's move on.
That makes sense.
You put your friendships above the interest of this podcast.
not friendships. It's not about
Exactly.
friendships.
It's about
I
the
really don't
friendships.
know. There's no one parameter.
So
They played
I
for
don't know
different
either,
teams.
but you gave me a task and I did what I can.
From all these teams, like Mike had let's say not the worst roster, probably the worst roster. I think that Shane and K-Nunn had better teams around them, so that's what helped them to become EuroLeague champions, which is important in making this
My honest
order.
opinion is that Mike James was never in a position to win the EuroLeague.
Exactly, that's the thing. And if he won like 2 or 3 EuroLeague titles, that would be a way easier conversation in my eyes.
So you think Mike James is number one?
Given that
I don't have a that's the problem. There's
from the perspective that Mike James was in the Final Four with teams like Baskonia and Monaco, kind of like underdogs. You have to give credit for that.
No, for sure.
True.
I agree that he was, out of these 3 players, he was given the least chance to win the EuroLeague, and that's important for your peak.
Because that season when COVID stopped basketball, CSKA with Mike was probably the team that could challenge Efes for the title in the Final Four. Who knows?
And then Shane had Vasa Misic, who was the MVP. K-Nunn had
Simon still was
Kustas
great.
Slukas. Mike never had the MVP caliber guard next to him. Maybe in CSKA years. I don't know who played on that team.
No,
honestly. Mike never had
he came there
Ergin
to
Ataman.
replace Chacho, I think. He left Milano and
Also
Chacho left Moscow. Mike came in. Well, of course, he
really
played with Pete
remember.
Clyburn, so he played with a star forward.
True.
But anyway, it's a
But
different
they
conversation.
didn't finish the season, I think, because of the COVID.
Yes, they didn't finish. And
Yeah.
the next season, Mike was suspended.
Yeah, and he
twice
left,
by
so he
Tudis,
couldn't finish the season,
eventually
basically,
He left,
so-
and CSKA went to the Final Four with Ife
Yeah.
Lundberg in his place. So nobody knows what could have happened.
Yeah.
Because Efes in the semifinal, Clyburn was one shot away from beating Efes
Mm.
in that game, if you remember. That was in
True.
Cologne, and that was in
True.
an empty gym in
he
Germany.
took that 3-pointer, I
Yep,
think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
So
I just wanted to say one more thing about what happened this week before we move to our general
Okay.
topics. Because I talked about one team from Istanbul, Fener, that is obviously in trouble right now. And I wanted to say something positive about the other team from Istanbul, that is Efes. The last time we talked about them, we criticized them about their defense, about their approach on defense. Now we have 2 games back-to-back against really solid opponents, Panathinaikos and Zvezda, where they didn't allow them to score even 70 points. And against Pau, for example, maybe they took some risks on the perimeter and they were kind of lucky that Pau couldn't make 3-point shots. But at the same time, they protected the paint so good. They didn't allow Lesor to dominate. The big guys like Osmani, Poire, Oturu did a great job in that game. And now yesterday, their defense was all about hands, was all about deflections. They were so good in deflecting the ball, denying the passes. 16 steals yesterday, a crazy number.
Wow.
Shane Larkin, Rodrigue Beaubois did an amazing job stealing the ball. Other guys were also working hard to deny Zvezda. And in the second half, it was amazing team defense by Efes. They only allowed 10 points in the fourth quarter. Zvezda couldn't score for the first 4.5 minutes in the fourth. And Efes just ran away. And they themselves had 13 turnovers in the first half, but they were only down 6. So probably they felt like we're going to fix this and we can take this game. I see a lot of improvements there. Shane Larkin back from his injury is a big thing. And Tomislav Mijatovic is probably the happiest man on earth to have him back. And yesterday, as I said, 12 assists from Shane. So they're improving. I have to give credit to them. Approaching the new year and end of the first half of the season, I think Efes is a team on the rise.
I've heard that they might be on the market. They might upgrade their roster. Let's say you have a chance to make one addition. Which
forward because they start with Jordan Wara at the third position. Stanley Johnson plays only sporadic minutes, so they quite often play these 3 guard lineups. Let's say with Elijah, Shane, and Thompson, or you can put Rodrigue Beaubois there. So maybe if I could upgrade, I would look for a forward, maybe even a versatile forward who can play as a 3 and as a 4. I know in some games they tried Derek Willis at the small forward position. The roster is fine, but if I could upgrade and add someone, and maybe if I need to make some cuts, I would look at this forward lineup.
Okay. Before we move on with a different topic, which is very related to some upgrades, just want to give a short shout out to Panathinaikos defense in that game. As much as I loved Nunn's offense, defensive effort was probably the best I've seen in the entire EuroLeague this season. And if you match defensive effort from Panathinaikos, the atmosphere in Waka and just pure dominance offensively, that was probably just in general the best quarter in the EuroLeague this year. And to me, it starts from Panagiotis Kalaitzakis, who barely plays this season. I'm a bit surprised why his role got reduced. I think in a lot of games he was changing the momentum, and on the defensive end he was adding something that Panathinaikos was lacking in a lot of games, and I think that was super important to have this crazy 14-0 run in the first few minutes of the game. They had this lineup with Jerian Grant, K-Nunn, Kalaitzakis, Juancho, and Matias Lazort. That won their plus and minus in the first quarter was plus 21. So just wanted to say that loved their defensive presence. There were some moments like Kalaitzakis forcing a lot of turnovers in the first quarter just from his energy. Jerian Grant just like doing great things and saying, no, there's no chance that you guys can beat us on our court against guys like Armoni Brooks and stuff like that. So it was just a pure dominance, and finally, once again, they showed why they're championship material.
And a nice move by Ataman. You know, you lose a couple of games, you have tragic defensive performances. And, he emphasizes that we must go to boxing practices because we must fight more on the court. We must play harder defense. And what he does, he just moves Kalaitzakis into the starting lineup because that's what Kalaitzakis does. Remember the series against Maccabi?
Yeah.
He would play 5 to 7 minutes per game.
In the third quarter.
Maybe in the end of the third quarter, but he would change the momentum of the game. He would give Panathinaikos a really nice boost because of his defense. And in the first quarter, we saw same thing. Like he one time deflected the ball, I think, when Nikola Mirotic tried to post up.
In the first few minutes.
He got another steal, I think.
From Freddie Gillespie, I guess.
From Freddie Gillespie.
Just because of his active hands, basically.
Exactly. And what it does is it also shows example to other guys. Hey, guys, let's play more active defense. Let's not wait until...
He sparks up the crowd as well. And the intensity level just increases. So
since this conversation shifted towards defense, quick question for you guys, because yesterday when I was on air doing Efes Zvezda game, and they had 16 steals, I decided to check what is the record for steals in a single game for a team in EuroLeague, in modern EuroLeague. Can you guess the number? It happened in 2001.
Okay, so we have crazy...
Virtus played Estudiantes.
2001.
28.
21.
33 steals.
30 free steals
30 free
in one game?
And my thought was like, how is that possible? Were they playing some amateur
What?
players
Wow.
that couldn't even bring the ball up the court, make one pass?
So we're talking about like championship Virtus probably with Manu
2001.
Ginobili.
2001.
Brat.
And
30 free
Estudiantes
steals.
had to
Estudiantes
be...
Madrid, probably an average team. 30 free
free.
steals in a single game.
How many turnovers were there in that game?
I didn't check, but probably if it's 33 steals, so
What's
they
the
should,
game? What's
should
the
be,
game?
2000. The year is 2001. Virtus played Estudiantes. Try to Google the box score. 33 steals, and I assume 36 or 40 turnovers.
It has to be at least 40. I mean, you can't have 35
Maybe
turnovers.
all of their
and-
turnovers were just loose ball.
if this that game 113 to 70,
Maybe.
yeah, they had.
What was the
30.
score?
No, but how is that possible? It's 113 to 70, and Estudiantes have 30 turnovers, and Virtus have 30 free steals. That is not possible.
Maybe these guys who were like doing this prodigal box score were drunk.
It has to be
Siesta,
some
it
kind
was
of
in Madrid. No,
mistake.
it was Italy. Okay.
But
has
okay,
to be
even
some
if
kind
it's
of
a
mistake.
mistake, it's obvious that they had
Yeah.
something around
Yeah.
30 steals.
Carlos Jimenez had 9 turnovers. Rico Hill had 8 turnovers in one game. And
Who else played for Estudiantes?
Reyes,
Carlos Jimenez was a
maybe
legend.
Young
Felipe
Felipe
Reyes.
Reyes played.
Yeah. Alfonso
Iker
Reyes.
Turbe
Alfonso
maybe.
Reyes was playing. Wow.
Iker Turbe could be there. No.
No,
No.
maybe not for that game. But Virtus had Ginobili. But 30 free steals could not have happened. Like Marko Jaric had
But
6.
it is now in the history books that
But
they stole the ball
EuroLeague
33
has
times.
to change their history books. I don't know. It's 30 turnovers for Estudiantes and 30 free steals for the other team. It's just
there's a miscount somewhere.
something does not add up here.
Yeah.
And just a short note about it, since we started talking about defense. I'm doing the player survey on the mid-season awards. I already surveyed 30 guys actually from the EuroLeague, and the biggest debate is basically who is the best defensive player. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys who basically are front runners for this award. There's no
Can we
clear
guess?
favorite. You can guess. I'm not going to reveal those names yet. We're gonna talk about it more in the next week's podcast.
Let's not guess then.
Okay,
Let's guess. Let's guess.
keep-
Okay.
Let's guess.
You go then.
Walkup, Tavares, and Nigel Hayes Davis.
Grant should be there, no?
Nigel is not there.
Okay.
Grant, Walkup, Tavares. Who else?
Grant is there. Two guys are missing. So that's the. Let's keep it for for the next week.
Walkup and Tavares is not there?
Tavares is there. Nigel Hayes Davis is not there.
And Walkup?
He was there, I think. Yeah, or at least, yeah, he's there.
He should be there.
Yeah, this is, as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, this is the moment when we are almost facing the transfer deadline, but not like it was before. If you remember, there was this short window of players being able to move from one EuroLeague team to another. Now the difference is that EuroLeague teams can sign any free agent that they want until February 26th. But if you're the EuroLeague player and you can keep your eligibility to sign with that EuroLeague team until the end of the February, you have to deregister yourself from the EuroLeague up until the next round, the next week's round, round 18, I guess. So we're probably talking about Wednesday. So it's very likely that some teams will make moves. So basically, there's this. We can say there's the EuroLeague transfer portal. You know, some players can make themselves available or just look for some ways to part ways. And from my side, from what I heard, the list is kind of long. Teams like Efes can do moves. I would check Xavier Retan-May's situation. He was not on the roster in the last game, I guess. And there are a lot of rumors basically from the beginning of the season about his future in Madrid. Virtus, I heard at least people who follow the market said that they were shopping like few guys from Gražulis to Žižić, Rajan Tucker, Fenerbahce, as I mentioned, Kem Birch, Boban Marjanovic. They're not sure about their future. Efes might make some moves, although Stanley Johnson said that he's happy in Efes. He's not getting a lot of playing time, so maybe both parts might seek for solutions. I would be curious about Justus Hollatz, who's playing for Efes as well. there might be some other moves, but the idea that I had, the topic that I had for all of us on this podcast, what trades teams could do to improve their rosters, to make some players who are not playing more happy in some other situations, and just to upgrade their situation. We were supposed to come with one trade idea
This guy
on
came
this
with
podcast,
8.
but this guy's a trade machine. Augustus, so basically we're going to call this segment Augustus Trade Machine because he has like 9 or 10 trades. So Augustus, what do you have there?
First of all, I misunderstood the assignment that we had to prepare only one. So I tried to involve all 18 teams in this. So you can imagine how hard it is, because if I already take one team in one trade, I can't use it for a second time. So it was such a tough task, and I was like, Donatas, are you crazy?
How much time did you
I
spend?
thought the assignment was quite clear, right?
It was
you
quite
just
clear. but
woke up in the
I
morning.
just woke up and I couldn't.
Midday.
The only thing I want to do, I want to somehow trade Nick Calates from Monaco.
Don't worry, I have this trade prepared, my man.
Yes,
So,
all the trades.
My
prepared.
friend.
So please
Stay with me.
Enlighten me.
Yes, I only did not get a trade for Bayern and Paris because these were the last 2 teams left, and I just couldn't manage to kind of make a reasonable trade. But maybe you guys can help me with that, or the viewers can. But I want you to rate all these trades, and I'm going to start with this one. Partizan gets Alec Peters.
Oh, this is
And Olympiacos get Isaiah Mike, Isaac Bonga, and cash considerations. I know Partizan probably likes this trade a lot more, but look, you have Bezenkov at the 4 spot. You have Papanikolaou that plays as a 4-man right now. You get Isaiah Mike to cover those
And
minutes.
Mike, yeah.
And you got Isaac Bonga for some defense and spot-up shooting. That's important for Olympiacos, and some cash. So
I'm not giving away Alec Peters.
of course, you're not giving away, but it's EuroLeague. It's hard to make. We don't have picks.
I know. I just have to agree or disagree with certain trades that you will offer, and
You need a better offer.
But it makes sense because offensively, Olympiacos, they're good. Defensively, they're 9th in the EuroLeague. And you add defense with Bonga, with Isaiah Mike. You make Alec Peters happy in a bigger role. And Partizan was kind of lacking this consistent stretch for appearance on the court. So you can play Tariq Jones and Brandon Davis more as the centers. You don't need to play them both.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I mean, I would think about it.
if I'm Partizan, I'm probably taking this deal. Although I wouldn't want to give up Isaac Bonga.
Yeah, that's... But you have to sacrifice
Corner-free
some.
specialist who plays great defense.
The best three-point celebrations.
A good rebounder. Yeah. Tim Schneider did this thing to him.
I saw that.
He hit the
I
shot.
saw that in Berlin.
Tim Schneider from Alba Berlin.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay.
But this is German national team thing, and actually it started from Dennis Schroeder.
Was Tim Schneider ever on a German national team?
Maybe he was in the camp.
Maybe in the
when
camp,
they started this thing. It came from Dennis, and Isaac just took it over.
Anyway, what's the mark?
Oh, yes,
what's the mark? From 1 to 10.
I have to grade your.
Yeah, let's
I think
let's do a
that's-
quick grade.
For your effort, it's at least
No,
8.
let's not be for effort.
No, but
for
it
this.
makes sense. I would think about it. Both teams can benefit. That's a solid trade, I would say.
I give it a 5 because I want both teams to be happier. In this case, Peters is just too good as a Vezenkov backup, and since Barzokas wants to have quality in every position, to have free players available, and he wouldn't want.
And they're
to,
already kind of stacked with
he wouldn't want
players
to say goodbye
on
to
the
Alec
bench
Peters.
as well.
I know Olympiacos are not saying yes to this, but this is what I come up because it was the 6th trade I made.
I'm waiting
now,
for something better.
Zvezda gets Theo Maledon,
Wow.
but they give up Cody Miller-McIntyre and Isaiah K-Nunn.
And Mike Daum. Your initial offer was Mike Daum as well.
Yeah. But just if Zvezda really wants to make noise, I think they must have a top tier player.
So I'm looking
offensively.
at the pros and cons. So from ASVEL side, the big advantage is that they get depth.
Yeah.
They get more quality, they add more players.
They get defense with Cody Miller.
The biggest disadvantage is that they give up on
A lot of
a
offense.
French player who is a star player for them right now.
That's true.
That's the biggest
And we're not even
disadvantage.
discussing the salary difference.
Yeah.
Because they're taking
No,
huge
but
salary. But
Zvezda are paying so much money.
salary
if you want to make
aside,
the trade in the EuroLeague, it's
salary aside, for ASVEL it would be good to have more depth and quality in different positions. They get two good guards, experienced players. They get another forward. Maladon now is becoming a star player that maybe could sign with Real Madrid or other elite teams. So for Zvezda to add that quality, even if it is just for half of a season, would be a big push towards their playoff campaign. So yeah, I like this one more than the first one.
Me too.
Get in the game with top basketball leagues. Place your bets with the highest odds for greater wins. Oh, score big with our exclusive bonuses. Bet now and get your bonus.
Okay, let's go further. I have Barcelona are getting healthy Nick Calates back, and Monaco get Chimezi Metu and maybe Alex Abrinas.
I would
Monaco-
take that if I'm Monaco, but I don't want to have Calates and Satoransky on my roster
One
together.
has to go. We
I'm with you.
waive.
So, but then there's no reason to wait for Satoransky. I mean, Nick is coming off an injury. He didn't play for a while.
That's
So
true.
I'm satisfied with the guards that Monaco has right now. The big three and also
With
Strazel
Lloyd,
providing
Lloyd
some good
coming
minutes.
back.
So I'm fine with that. If I add Abrinas, it's kind of like what I want from Korkmaz, but since he's always injured, we haven't seen him play yet, and Abrinas could do more or less the same things with off-ball movement, three-point shooting, and some defensive tasks. And Metu is just a good forward who can play as a 4 and as a 5.
As a 5.
yeah,
That
A
is
guy
also
who can
good.
set screens and roll.
I love this trade from Monaco side
yeah.
I have to give Barcelona something more, right?
because
Oh, not only Nick.
doesn't make sense for them to take Nick
Yeah.
Calates right now.
Okay, let's go to the next trade. And Fenerbahce get, you can guess which guard, which point guard Šarūnas Jasikevičius gets. Come
Rokas
on now.
Jokubaitis.
Rokas Jokubaitis and Maccabi get Devon Hall. I think Wade Baldwin needs someone next to him, and Fener badly needs some more creation for other players to open up the game. And I think, Rokas is a guy who already knows Shara's system, so it wouldn't be that hard to welcome him into the team, all that stuff.
I tell you this, since Rokas is still a young player, let's say still a rising player, and Devon Hall is 29, 30 or 30 years old, if we're switching these players, if I'm Maccabi, I want something extra.
True.
Give me Kem Birch.
Done.
Give me Kem Birch and
It
Devon Hall.
doesn't really
gotta
change
trade.
anything for
Because
Fener.
Maccabi needs a big guy. Because Casiel Rivero is constantly missing games. Venny and
Easy.
Gabriel is always in foul
Easy.
trouble. So give me Birch and Hall. I give you Jokubaitis.
Done deal, man.
Let's sign the papers.
But is it actually changing a picture for Maccabi?
It is, because they need a big body.
At least
a
short
center
term.
who could rebound and
But-
play some defense.
Should they look like short term? Because if I'm Maccabi, maybe I'm thinking that Jokubaitis could be my even better for the next year's
If you're
team.
Maccabi, you can't really think 2 weeks ahead of you because you don't know which player is going to be the next one who will want to leave. So, do the trade for now. It fixes some problems.
Or if you get back to playing in your own country, then you again have probably a budget higher and you can be a contender, not a what is it, a bottom team? What Maccabi
since
is right
at
now.
the moment Tamir Blat is the guy who's leading this team, I can get a pure shooting guard, let's say, next to him. Jokubaitis is better as a creator and a ball handler, but Devon Hall could be a better scorer. And as I said, if you give me Kem Birch as well, I do the trade.
Since you're the trade machine on this podcast,
Yes.
do you have any trade that would send Lorenzo Brown to Fenerbahce? Would you like to pair him up with Wade Baldwin again?
Ooh.
But what you have
Yes.
to send to Panathinaikos then? Is there any trade that makes sense for Pau?
For Pau. I don't know. I would send Brown and Omer Yurtseven to Fenerbahce.
I actually have a trade offer. I've just came up with this before the podcast. Lorenzo Brown to Real Madrid,
Okay.
Serge Ibaka from Real Madrid to Pana. Omer Yurtseven goes to Fenerbahce. And Fenerbahce sends one of Devon Hall, Artur Žagars, or Skylar Mays to Panathinaikos.
Wait, so Fener only sends Devon Hall or Žagars and gets Ibaka?
Lorenzo Brown. Ibaka goes to Panathinaikos.
Oh.
It's a
Lorenzo goes to Madrid.
So
and
who
who goes to Fener?
Wait, let me get this straight.
Yurtseven.
Let me get it straight. So if you're Pau, you're downgrading at your backup center position, and you're also downgrading at your guard
Point
position.
guard position.
Why would you do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would
I'm
you do
just
that?
I'm just not sure about Yurtseven and his role in Panathinaikos.
I think
and maybe
for sure.
Ibaka,
For
maybe
sure.
Ibaka would be
Look, but there's
better fit in
you
Pau.
have Matthias Lesor, so obviously you would only be a backup. But
Yeah.
Omer Yurtseven has a lot of quality in him. And Serge Ibaka is just a veteran who's close to retiring, so I don't know if that's a good
I'm just
trade.
thinking that maybe Ibaka would be better fit in Pana than he was in Madrid. It just feels like something is not
Perhaps,
clicking in
but
that
then-
team. Chemistry, fit.
to change Lorenzo Brown to Žagars or Skylar
Yeah.
Mays, nah, I'm
Okay.
not taking this
Okay.
deal. if I'm,
Okay.
if
See,
I'm
man, it's hard.
Panathinaikos.
It's really hard. Yeah,
It's hard.
If I would spend more than 5
It's
minutes on
easier
it,
in
maybe
the
I could
NBA
find
where
something.
you have
I spent
teams-
30 minutes on these 8 threes.
It's so much easier in the NBA where you have teams that want to do a salary dump.
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they want to
Yeah.
add picks and all that. And because in EuroLeague you
So
try
in-
to improve teams.
In this case, Virtus would send Isaiah Cordinia to many EuroLeague teams to get cash considerations and some of the pieces.
My trade is Real Madrid gets Cordinia and Virtus gets Serge Ibaka.
You have to pay a lot of cash as well, I think.
I think
If I'm
Serge
Virtus-
Ibaka would be against it.
We don't ask what
We don't
players
think
want
about the
here,
players,
okay?
right? We just
don't.
trade
It's
them like
already
assets.
it's already hard, okay? It's already hard to make a trade in the EuroLeague. If you start asking what players
Yeah.
want, come
He
on
would
now.
veto the trade.
There-
Real
there's
Real
no-
Madrid desperately needs some more quality. So Cordinier, Maledon, they have a long history of signing French players and being successful in it. So I would take any of those guys if I'm Real Madrid. And if I have to give away Serge Ibaka, I can live with that.
Okay, now it's time for Panathinaikos, and I know Panathinaikos fans are going to say, "Are you crazy?" And please, for our social media, do not make this a social media post, because Žalgiris gets Dinos Mitoglu.
So social media started cutting this video from
I know,
this.
I know.
But I'm like, yeah, okay,
Right now,
go.
5 seconds. Žalgiris get Dinos Mitoglu, and Pau get Matt Mitchell and Arnas Butkevičius, and cash considerations.
So you're
Juancho has a bigger role this season.
But they have Jedi, they have Papapetru.
so you're trying to add
They're
some
not
like
playing.
defensive players to
Yeah, I'm trying to add
Panathinaikos?
defensive players to Panathinaikos.
Mitoglu to Žalgiris is a good option because he can play as a 4 and as a 5.
It's not something Pau would do. I know that, but we were trying to come up with
Yeah.
trades, and this seemed like a.
But he's a Greek player.
But that's what I
But
want to
that's
say.
not-
That's
taking that
exactly
one.
like if we start looking nationalities, no trades can happen in the EuroLeague because
That's why they are not happening.
every team needs local players, and then if you start doing trades, you don't have them anymore, and that's
Yeah, you
shit.
have to
and that's it.
No,
but most
I,
of those teams, they have a lot of imports.
I
so.
respect that you looked at these things from
It's reasonable.
basketball perspective.
Rational
like,
standpoint, yeah.
but the fact that Mitoglu is a local player means so much.
And Arnas Butkevičius as well. But anyway, Alba gets Furkan Korkmaz, and Monaco gets David McCormack.
Furkan Korkmaz would hate it again.
We are not asking on this
No, we're
podcast
not.
again. We are not asking the players what
Did he have a no trade clause in
he
his contract
doesn't.
or
He
not?
hasn't
So-
played. He played in one game only. He has no say in this. But anyway, and my last
I
one.
want. I want to trade Yusuf Afal from Barcelona. I think there are teams
sure.
that would benefit from having this really big giant, and
Right.
Barcelona doesn't look like they need him anyways. So, do you have any destinations, any
you-
teams that would like to have
Yusuf Afal?
this type of center?
What about Fenerbahce if they get rid of Boban and Cam? I mean, they need to sign a completely new front line, basically.
You mentioned a center. There's Fenerbahce.
Every center could make sense for
Maybe
Fener.
Bayern Munich could take him as an improvement.
But do they actually need him?
Okay, so as a backup to
Oh,
Devin
but yeah,
Booker,
they play Danko
they have
Brankovic.
Danko Brankovic.
Oh, Bayern should do that. I mean, they need depth, and I'm not sure if they can keep playing this short.
But that's their
lineup.
style. A lot of
I don't know what they
plays,
could give
quick
up,
threes.
though. What
Yeah,
they
but
could give
to play the full
Barcelona.
season, how are you going to look like when you're going to be in April? Are you going to be tired? Are you going to be in shape? Are those threes going to fall if you depend so much on threes?
Let's say Bayern Munich just basically pays a buyout, a small fee to Barcelona for Yusuf Afal.
So
They add him
Barcelona
to the
can
roster.
sign the new
So
player.
Barcelona
Ah,
could sign
okay.
a new player for some different position. That's it.
Nice.
And I have Yusuf Afal as a backup. I have Devin Booker playing 29 minutes, but then
Nice.
10 minutes I play without him would be with this type of center.
It's
Something different.
It's kind of like Barcelona buys out the contract, like in the NBA, and you take the other team takes him
and they
from waivers.
free up some
Yeah.
space and cash and try to sign somebody else from the free agency.
And my last one, Olympia gets Dano Turu, Efes gets Leandro Bolmaro.
Efes gets Leandro Bolmaro.
Leandro
right?
Bolmaro.
But do they really need the number?
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Guards.
I mean,
And
Bolmaro.
I like Oturu.
Bolmaro could be a good addition, but at the same time,
I agree that you would need like a wing guy, wing like defender.
this Poirea Turu thing is interesting because 1 week it looks like, oh my God, we have Poirea Turu is just a backup,
Right.
But now the last few weeks it was all about Dano Turu.
And I only just made this trade because Josh Nebo was injured for already such a long time, and who knows when he is going to be back. Hope pretty soon, but just if there was no injury, of course, I'm not making this trade at all. Like if you have Josh Nebo healthy, you don't need Dano Turu when you have Mirotic and Zach Lide as well.
And they brought Gillespie as well to fill
if
that
I'm giving
spot.
up Daniel Oturu, you give me Bolmaro, I would ask for
Some more.
something more, at least one more player. Maybe give me Fab Kozer as a veteran.
You know who would benefit from Fab Kozer?
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Exactly. Exactly.
Let's also bring back Chacho Rodriguez from the retirement. They need all the guards.
And they are in the playoffs right now with those two guys. That's it.
Yeah.
The,
Please-
good job. The
please
trade
rate
machine
Augustus.
did its job.
Which one do you like the most?
I liked Peter's stuff.
Or Maladon? Zvezda.
I like this one. It made more sense, even though it's probably financially impossible. But
Yeah.
I like this one. I also like the Monaco trade just because it benefits Monaco so much. I have nothing against Nikola Tesla, but since Lloyd came back, they have a complete guard rotation, and I don't know how he will fit into this picture.
Right.
Two quick news that we had this week. The first positive, I would say, EuroLeague changed the rules of the season awards. Finally, we're going to have the MVP just for the regular season performances. It's not going to clash the playoffs. The voting process won't be confusing, whether should I rate the regular season or the playoffs included. So we probably can celebrate that small tweak that EuroLeague did, right? Do you have any
Absolutely.
other, let's say, opinions on the way they changed it? Because they also made this play-in MVP and the playoffs MVP award as well.
That is
means the
not
accessory,
really
but-
necessary. I think the regular season MVP and the Final Four MVP is more than enough. But the NBA also went this way since they added Eastern Conference playoffs MVP, Western Conference playoffs
okay.
MVP. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think
Probably it's just for
people will take
sponsorship
it
stuff.
too
They use
seriously.
sponsor spots for that.
But to have a clear concept of regular season MVP is good. I think we needed that. Even last season, maybe we still didn't have that officially, but by the voting, you could understand that people finally looked at it as a regular season award, which is fair, in my opinion.
And it's nice that fans are only going to have 10%. I mean, it's a gentle way to saying that, hey, you are too biased. We know that, but, we are still keeping you engaged. But fans having what they had like 25% before was way too much.
I think it
because
was less. A little bit less.
Wasn't it like 50, 25, 25?
I don't remember.
I don't really remember.
But yeah,
10% is fair.
10% is fair. They're still going to be biased. But yeah, it's a good change overall. I like it.
I didn't know how to involve this topic in this podcast because we started from some funny stuff. We had some debates as well. But, one of the biggest news of the week was Janis Timma. He was found dead in Moscow this week. I mean, huge loss in the basketball community as well. I don't know, any reactions, any memories about Janis Timma?
First of all, it's really, really sad news for Latvian basketball, European basketball. He left his mark on some EuroLeague teams like Baskonia, Olympiakos. My memories are first of all related to the good Eurobasket run that Latvia had in 2017. And he was an important part of that team, and he was not a EuroLeague player back then, and I thought he should be. When I saw him play, he was dominating Eurocup playing for Zenit. I remember when they arrived in Vilnius, they played Rytas. Rytas just couldn't guard him. He scored almost 30 points in Vilnius, so he was definitely a very talented, gifted basketball player, a good shooter, athletic player when he was at his peak, and it's just really sad.
Yeah. I don't have much to add. It's a tough moment and it feels like you have to say something smart or important, but I just wanted to quote what Andrew LBC tweeted right after the news. So he just posted that mental health is so important. We tend to downplay this aspect for athletes. Like everyone else, we have our problems, our moments of doubt. Do not hesitate to talk about them, to ask for support, take care of yourself. Rest in peace, Janis Timma. So I saw a lot of agents kind of spreading their messages on Instagram to their clients or potential clients, also just to ask for support or to share if to share during their downs and roller coasters of their let's say some mental situations. Alpa, I think they also posted something like that. So that's a good reminder, for everyone to share when they're in some dark moments, because even one conversation, one story, one chat can actually change a lot of important decisions than sometimes people make. Yeah, I mean, not the best news not the best situation to address before this Christmas time, especially. But this is something that needs to be addressed. That's for sure. On a positive side, we have Christmas. Usually, Christmas is about gifts, about joy, about eating, a lot of eating. About conflicts behind the table with your relatives, some nice moments, some trips. But for the end of this podcast, we have like Christmas gift or Christmas wish to every EuroLeague team. So nothing too serious. It might be serious, it might be irrelevant, it might be completely random, but just whatever comes to our mind. AS Monaco, what we wish them for the upcoming Christmas? Of course, we're looking at Rytas. That's for sure.
I think they got their Christmas gift there early.
Vasilis Panulis.
Look, healthy for Korkmaz and Nick Kalates, and them just sliding into the rotation and adding something extra to this team that's been clicking really well so far. These 3 weeks they've been with Spanulis.
It's like not for those two players to come back and not ruin their chemistry, what they have right now, by trying to understand their roles.
Just like for Spanulis to figure out the best roles for both of them. I know it's easier probably with Korkmaz because he's a shooter. He's going to play a lot off ball, and that's what he was doing in Philadelphia. With Kalates is different, but he's a very experienced player. He can be like a defensive-minded point guard for you, which is probably what Monaco needs sometimes. So my gift to them, if I could give it, would be this.
Fair enough. Paris basketball, probably quite easy. Some quality food.
Yeah.
Visiting teams in the EuroLeague or the French league.
And for TJ Shorts to stay healthy. He is the engine of that team, and I wish them to not lose their good mood, even if they, get into a losing streak, because that's what allowed them to actually be in this position they are right now.
The MVP award to TG Shores also. If he keeps this up, he can be the MVP.
What a story that would be.
Olympiacos? Keenan Evans?
I don't know. I mean, it's just health in general. Like
we could.
We cannot
but
do it
health,
with every team, basically.
Health to any team. To every
Health to
team.
everyone, that's for sure. But
I'm talking about those who were affected more by the injuries. But okay, fair. Maybe we should be more specific.
let's unwrap Keenan Evans in January or February.
I think for players to just be patient and trust the system, because sometimes it can be difficult for you to accept Bartzoka's rotations. Why are you sitting out the 2.5 quarters when you're feeling in good rhythm? But just live with it, trust the process, because in the end, you will be in a position to win the EuroLeague title.
Probably just I wish them to actually that they're, loaning Filip Petrushev and now signing Nathan Mensah. This all works out with the center position.
Okay. Žalgiris Kaunas?
Lonnie Walker.
Not to go to the NBA?
Exactly.
Lonnie Walker till the end of the season.
Easiest. The
Lonnie
easiest.
Walker till the end of the season. Nothing more, nothing less.
Bayern Munich?
To not run out of gas with the way they are playing, with their depth. They're playing beautiful basketball. I enjoy watching them a lot this season. But just to not run out of gas. I hope they can keep this shape that they have right now. Anything, guys?
I'm going to say just some defensive improvements. I cannot say anything specific or particular about one player, but just in general, a bit better defense, and that could help you win some extra games in the second part of the season.
From my side, keep selling those home games in the new arena. It's super important, especially given its German basketball community. It's so important to build that hype around basketball. They went to the new arena with more capacity, which makes it even more difficult to fill the
selling out.
Yeah, selling
tickets.
out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was there last week. Beautiful arena, a lot of great stuff. You can actually watch the tour around SAP Garden on BasketNews YouTube channel. I actually brought Andy Obst jersey from their store in the arena. I just forgot to take it from home. It actually cost 150 euros. Well, 115. So that's
Andy Obst, man.
That's Andy Obst.
Killed USA.
Didn't they give you a jersey?
I mean, I was not asking, so I don't know. I'm just a regular guy. Go to Bayern Munich official store, buy some stuff, and that's it.
Come on.
I'm not asking for some gifts.
You could buy 2 hoodies for the same price.
I actually bought some great. Okay, I won't say it, but I brought some.
Let's move on.
Good stuff as well. Fenerbahce, we kind of. Where to start with? Actually,
all the things that we mentioned.
Center.
All the things that we mentioned.
And
one gift. Probably center.
They need 3.
Man, but health
One gift is not enough.
Health, point guard, center. Not in that order.
I'm going to say patience. Just for everyone to be patient, to stay locked in, to don't take these losses they suffered right now too much into your heart. Like, survive the tough moments and it's going to be better.
Efes?
Fair.
Efes. I would say just to keep doing what you've been doing for the last few weeks. They haven't been really consistent in this first part of the season, but if they can consistently play the way they did recently against Zvezda and Pau, some good things might happen. So I'm just going to wish them consistency and stay focused. Stay focused every game.
I wish them energy for 40 minutes on defense. If they can do that, they can be a really dangerous team.
Could they be Final Four team?
Let's not go here. I'm not answering this question anymore.
Panathinaikos?
Be more serious about the regular season. Like you have it in your hands. It's all, you don't need any help from anybody.
You can take it, but you have to earn it. I mean, it's not going to be given to you.
Just be more serious. Like sometimes maybe they need something to motivate them. because now they were motivated by a couple of bad losses and Kendrick Nunn suspension, and you saw what he can do when they played against Olimpia Milano. So just in the second part, be more serious. More often than not, play at close to your 100%. You will get more wins, improve in the standings, get the home court advantage. This should be your goal right now.
They're 9-7 only. That's crazy.
At the same time, just 2 wins away from the first seed. So
and 2 wins
is
and
also
one
crazy.
and 2 wins away from not being in the play-in.
also that.
2 wins away from being 15th seed. That's stupid. Barcelona?
There are not enough wishes to.
some spark. Just find something. Like, I don't know, man. Do you have good players, but at the same time, you're in a tough moment? First of all, I humbly wish them to make it to the Copa del Rey, because Copa del Rey needs Barcelona.
That's a good one.
Let's start from
this
simple ones, you know?
Copa del Rey needs Barcelona. At the moment, they barely qualify because they're only in the 8th
crazy.
spot in the Spanish league. There's going to be an El Clasico just before the new year. So just make sure you're there in the top 8 in Spain, and let's start from there, and we'll build on that.
Yeah. It would be wild if only Real Madrid from EuroLeague, from all the Spanish teams in the EuroLeague, would make it, because Baskonia are okay. They're 12th, but they're only 1 win away from Barcelona and
I
Manresa.
think there's still like 6 games left before the Judgment Day.
Yeah, it's true. It's a lot of these other teams are playing really well.
What do we have for Milan? Keep flying with the way you were flying during that winning streak, starting from Zachary Day. That was Milan. That was sexy to watch.
I would say just to get Josh Nebo back, and then we see the full potential of them.
We're back to health.
I'd say somehow don't fall in a hole. Like, I am not expecting them to go on another winning streak when they win 6 or 7 games straight, but don't go on a losing streak. Like, win 2 out of 5, it's okay. You can live with that. Win, let's say 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, you can live with that. Just don't go on a losing streak anymore, because then we will start talking about the same things, like how it's not working, not clicking. Because now you're fine. You had a winning streak. You fixed things. Just be a consistent team in the second part of the season.
Crvena zvezda.
Figure things out somehow with your lineup, with your rotations.
They have a lot of guys now. They have Bolomboy back. They have
John
Philip
Brown
Petrucci.
about
They
to
have
join
John
the
Brown.
team
They
at
have a
some point.
different team than what they started the season with.
So yesterday, Dobric got injured. Giedraitis played minutes in the fourth quarter. But there's still players that are barely playing. Some players that are not being used enough, in my opinion. I think Isaiah Cannon can offer so much more offensively. It's hard for me to see him running towards Shane Larkin on defense and only taking 1 or 2 field goals in 20 minutes. So maybe just figure out some things, because the roster is deep. The roster is good. In some games, they look really good, like when they beat Olympiacos. But yesterday, 20 turnovers or something like that. Unacceptable. Losing the ball straight after timeout twice in the fourth quarter.
Partizan?
Just figure things out. In general.
Partizan? Consistency, maybe. I mean, they're losing the game against ASVEL. They lost the game against Virtus. They barely beat Alba. We're talking about the bottom teams. They're wasting a lot of wins that could take them to the top 6.
A new team again. I'm going to wish them better defense.
Fulfill their defensive potential.
I just trust Carlik Jones to win games, to close games. I think he's surrounded by enough talent to be a good offensive team. Just, I need better defense individually and team effort as well.
I wish them to not lose home games anymore. That's one thing they can't really allow themselves to do. They have only 4 wins in 9 matches at the Belgrade Arena. And to me, that's with that crowd, you must not waste anymore your home chances, because away it's going to be real tough. And if you want to make the play-in, that's going to be tough. Defend your Palace. I don't know.
Okay.
Speaking of Palace, Real Madrid.
Improve the roster.
Where
finally.
do we start?
I mean,
improving the roster. That's if you're not changing the coach, give him the players.
It's one way or another.
He asked for
Simple as that.
additions
In September.
Before the season,
Before the
basically.
season start, after the Super Copa.
Yeah. I need
it's
players.
end of September.
1 or 2 players
Right,
at least.
right.
Yeah,
So-
he said that.
So sign the players, improve
Okay,
the
Chus,
roster.
we're giving you none. Congratulations.
Kendrick Nunn or none?
None or I got confused. Yeah.
Look, it's naive to think that we can keep things the same and somehow it will work out. It won't. It won't. You can see that they're struggling so much right now, and without any changes, they could barely be a play-in team right now. So I wish them some additions, roster improvements. Finally, I'm not going to wish a coaching change because it's harsh to ask for someone to be fired on Christmas. It's not
Right?
nice.
August, right?
Right?
It's not nice.
Would you, speaking of additions and gifts, would you like Dennis Smith Jr. as a gift to Real Madrid?
Spoiler alert.
I'm asking because I heard that Madrid is showing a strong interest in Dennis Smith Jr. The last time I heard them showing a strong interest was Lonnie Walker. The initial response was, no, Lonnie is not available for the EuroLeague. A couple of weeks later, he signed with Žalgiris. I think, and from what I heard, Dennis Smith Jr. might have the same approach now, but who knows how it can change in a week or two. But let's say he's available and he's going to Madrid. Is he a game changer for Real?
I haven't seen him
Lonnie Walker would have been
play that
better.
much. I mean, I haven't seen Dennis Smith play that much recently. I kind of have to freshen up about his game. But I remember when he was in Dallas, when he was a rookie in his first years, he was kind of a starting guard, playing in a starting lineup, scoring. So he is a good player. Just in the recent years, he was kind of forgotten. He played
in Brooklyn just like Lonnie Walker. I also had the role.
Look, but to me, one thing that you need in Europe is a shot, outside shot. If you don't have it, that makes it so much more interesting to actually stop your athleticism.
Only 29% in the
NBA.
NBA.
He's never been a good shooter in his career. So, you can expose that. You can stop his athleticism. And that's why I'm saying, like, you missed out on Lonnie Walker so bad. And he would definitely help because they need depth. They need players. That's one thing. But also you need quality players to actually be a contender again, not only contend for the play-in.
Yeah, true.
Baskonia?
I really don't know about Baskonia.
I wish them just to love each other. Sometimes I'm just lacking of
what do you mean by
chemistry on that team. When you watch, sometimes you don't feel that they're a team, a real team. Yeah. And individually, I think that they have good players, but they cannot somehow mash and match together. So I wish them to have great Christmas dinner or party. Of course, EuroLeague schedule doesn't allow it, but at some point, maybe they will have some time to have fun, to talk things out, and just enjoy, just to set some hierarchy on the team.
So you wish them
talent
to break some TVs?
No, you don't do it this way. It didn't take that team anywhere.
I wish them just to keep the core players there and for Marcus Howard to avoid shooting slumps that he just had. And there was like this 1 month where he couldn't hit a free, and now the numbers have improved, and I hope in the second part of the season he'll be shooting much better.
ASVEL Villeurbanne.
To not lose Theo Maledon, because I know probably like 5 EuroLeague teams with one team right now.
Because he makes your team interesting now. You watch ASVEL, you basically focus on him. So keep him till the end of the season. They have a good history of former NBA players, French players that had a breakthrough year in ASVEL. Yabusele, Okobo, and now this is the same thing that's happening with Maledon. So keep him till the end of the season. Maybe you could compete for the French league title. Maybe you can compete for a while for the play-in. Why
stay
not?
In the race.
Why not? With 7 wins right now, and they're playing some good stuff. So stay in the race for as long as possible and keep Theo Maledon.
It's just in general. I mean, shout out to ASVEL. They're doing a great job this season. They're competitive.
Even Andre Robertson addition, I didn't expect much, but he's adding value to this team, definitely.
Yeah, and first of all, they're nice as a team, and I like this new EuroLeague head coach, Peric Poupé. Probably that's the right pronunciation.
I think so.
I heard a lot of good things about him. He makes his team united, competitive. They lost only 2 games in double digits. They beat some great teams. This victory against Partizan was one of the proofs. They also beat Paris. I think they also beat some other clubs, Real Madrid, maybe. So he already had some nice wins. I like the way they play. They competitive. Peric Poupé as a coach is a young up-and-coming coach. He was the assistant coach to Gianmarco Pozzeco as well. Players respect him a lot. Maybe his age also helps him to be more relatable to the guys. Tactics-wise, he's also a smart guy. He's a very down-to-earth guy, from what I heard. Real gentleman, cool guy. So it's good to see this new wave of fresh head coach faces in the EuroLeague, starting from Thiago Splitter, even Gordon Herbert making his inputs in Bayern Munich. We're talking about the teams that it's really nice to watch. So shout out to Peric Poupé and just keep doing that, and do not lose Theo Maledon.
Just don't do that tomorrow.
I wanted to say the same thing. Just not on Friday. After that, we're good.
Yeah.
Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Just keep the players that you have till the end of the season.
Let's hope they can come back home to play in Tel Aviv.
Let's be realistic.
I know, but this is Christmas. We're talking about some miraculous period of our year.
In UEFA, some teams don't even play their home games against Israel at their home. They need to look for neutral venues.
Fenerbahce has to play away.
Fener has to play in the
home game. Efes the same.
In EuroLeague. So, I mean, come on.
EuroLeague even went to Panathinaikos, can imagine.
It's not happening anytime soon. It's unrealistic. We're not going to go into that topic. So I'm just going to be realistic and say, keep the players that you have right now. Keep the players that you have right now till the end of the season and try to compete as much as possible.
Virtus.
Just win the games that you're close. Don't lose games that you're actually close with a couple of minutes remaining. Because they were kind of close in a lot of games. They lost those. But to be honest, just enjoy Bologna for a season.
Embrace Duško Ivanović. Become Duškistas.
Become Duškistas. Embrace Al Ragu while you're in Bologna.
When I watched Bellinelli, by the way, ASVEL, De Colo made a dagger against Partizan. Bellinelli had like 20 points against Olympiacos. He was huge in this comeback.
14 in the first half.
Yeah, but it's crazy how Bellinelli shoots those threes. He starts shooting from the 3-point line. He lands on the free throw line, basically. So my gift would be Matras for Bellinelli on the floor, because he's old, and when you look at him jumping like that, you always feel like insecure the way he gonna land. He falls a lot. Of course, he tries to flop, get those fouls, but I don't want him to hurt.
When you jump only this high, it's not like you're gonna get hurt.
Look, he's always moving.
After my free ACL injuries, I'm shooting jump shots without even jumping.
It's not an actual jump shot.
I'm not gonna get hurt.
It's just a shot. How would you call that shot without a jump?
It's a shot.
It's just a shot.
Okay.
It's not like I'm standing flat on my feet. I go in the air a little bit like this, so Bellinelli goes like this. He's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Do we call that shot in Lithuanian barrel shot? When you do not actually jump and you take a 3-pointer.
What?
Barrel?
I don't know, man. First time I'm hearing this.
Okay.
Maybe in Panathinaikos.
True. Alba Berlin, the last one.
Just enjoy EuroLeague while you're here.
Or win some lottery, Viking Lotto or whatever, where you can win millions of euros to change the picture.
For you. Euro Cup group where Vilnius Wolves are playing.
Do not ruin this Christmas party.
Do you think they would be in the playoffs in that group?
You mean to be in the top 6?
In the top 6 is Başakşehir, Gran Canaria, Ulm, Hapoel Tel Aviv, Beşiktaş, and Wolves. And then you have Budućnost, Juventud, Trento Dolomita Energia, and then you have Sopot.
Such a party pooper, really.
Honest. Now I'm asking a question that you asked us before.
Oh my God, Alba Berlin are 15th in the Bundesliga?
Yeah.
No way.
They're taking Bundesliga this season more serious. That's what they said.
So they're 15th.
Yeah, they're focusing not on the EuroLeague. Exactly.
So Ulm is a
maybe-
much better team.
Okay, let's not answer
Wow,
that
they're
question.
close to relegation. Yeah, that's
Let's get out of relegation zone. That's my
I
wish.
mean, they're not going to the top 6 in that group. I think they
There's no chance.
would compete for the 6th spot, would get some more home wins, but I don't see them being better than the teams that you've mentioned.
They would be like in 9th spot with Juventud with 4 wins, I would say.
And before they came to EuroLeague, they were actually winning the Euro Cup.
It's crazy.
It's a downfall, definitely, in to be 15th.
Hey, but they're still beating some teams at home because they're just that different than all the others. But
By some teams, you mean Olimpia Milano and Virtus Bologna,
yeah, those two.
right?
By the way, just for the very end of this, can you put some stuff on the screen? Our social media team prepared some cool Christmas stuff. So which one of these you like the most? Which one you would buy for yourself as a Christmas gift?
Probably I'm not going to surprise anyone, but Paris
Keep going.
stood
Yeah,
out
keep
to
going.
me.
Oh, this
Paris,
one is
Paris
nice.
and Partizan were my top 2.
This one is nice. Not sure. I think they did it better with Olympiacos.
But
Paris is cool.
this one looks amazing.
Ice
It's
cold.
cool, it's cool. I actually got Paris basketball jersey.
Fener
Yeah?
is great one.
Yeah.
Which player?
Wow.
TJ Shorts? Or-
Without a name.
Okay.
It's just a
It's
jersey.
without a name.
Just a jersey.
That's a
Fener
shame.
one is great. I love it.
It looks like some
Warriors?
of those sweaters, Christmas sweaters.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Žalgiris.
Could do, the name, the way it's written, could be something better because I like the material in general,
Yeah.
but just the way they wrote Žalgiris' name, I would prefer something different. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Bayern, huh? Now we are fans of Bayern in this podcast.
And the last one? This one.
At
Kinda
first,
similar-
at
kinda
first,
similar
I kind of like this one, but
What did you
then
notice?
after looking a couple of times, I'm like, maybe not sure.
I
Maybe
pick
not that
Fener.
good.
I pick Fener. I
Yeah,
like
Fener. Fener, my favorite one as well.
For you, Paris?
Paris and Partizan
Okay.
Top 3. That's definitely top 3 for me.
with Fener. Okay,
Yeah. So
but great idea about our social media team. Original content that then a lot of our content
yeah, make sure
then gets
follow. Then it's
copied by.
It's just
Some-
it means that you're doing something great.
Yeah, I know.
We cannot. Let's control
I
what
know.
we can control. So
It's just
I
funny.
don't know what he's talking about.
Don't worry, I'll show you.
Okay.
it's just some social media wars between some media
Social
companies.
media wars, nice.
Yeah. So Merry Christmas, everyone. This was the last podcast before the Christmas. We're coming back before the New Year celebration. We're gonna do one more podcast. Probably we're gonna deliver our New Year predictions for the 2025. We're gonna go with the players survey for the mid-season awards. So plenty of good stuff to cover next week. But yeah, now enjoy the Christmas time.
See you soon.
Those who celebrate Christmas, actually.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate.